You're listening to 89.5 FM KPOO. We want you to see Hedwig and the Angry Inch at the Boxcar Theater. So with that in mind, I would like to welcome Mr. Nick Olivero, Artistic Director of Boxcar Theater. Welcome.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, no problem. So tell me a little bit about the show that you've got coming up. Let's travel back in time.
You want to take a step back?
The Wayback Machine. So I went to go see Little Shop of Horrors, which I loved.
Oh, thank you.
Loved it. But which got shut down because you guys were being innovative, and apparently that's just not right.
Yeah.
So
we were being a little too...
Too free,
yeah.
Well, these things happen, but it turns out that the people who shut it down, even though they shut it down, they liked it.
They said they did.
Yeah. So it was more like, well, they had to because
these
are the rules. Yeah, these are the rules.
These
but
are the rules.
Show's awesome. Sorry we found out. Yeah.
So we've been doing the right thing since 2011 now. Yes,
and that's his story, and he's sticking to it. So, with that in mind, tell me a little bit about Hedwig.
So Hedwig and the Angry Inch, it was a musical that was written by John Kimmer Mitchell and Stephen Trask back in '98, and it's about a transgendered rock singer from the eastern side of the Soviet bloc who has a botched sex change to escape East Berlin to get to the United States, and
but they didn't botch it to escape.
They just botched it. Yeah, right. Yeah. Hansel goes in for a sex change and comes out as Hedwig with a 1-inch mound of flesh left over where his penis used to be.
Yikes.
I know I can say the word penis, right?
Yes.
You were saying the word clitoris a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great.
You can use all of the technical
use all those
terms.
Words.
Yes.
So now she's living in Middle America, watches the Berlin Wall come down about a year later. So had the sex change. If she had just waited just a little bit longer, she would have been able to leave. And falls in love with this young teenager named Tommy, Tommy Speck, who they start writing songs together and music together, and he becomes a huge famous rock star. And she starts following him around, and she's angry and spiteful and rocking out at
But she's angry because he
she stole all his music. Yeah.
So who's in it?
Well, so we're doing something. Well, you know me. I like to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm collaborating again with Dave Meshler. He's our music director.
Okay.
He was the music director on Little Shop as well.
Okay.
So we got the permission from both John and Steven to kind of shake things up. And instead of having one person play Hedwig, we have 12 different actors sharing the role.
That's awesome. What made you decide to do that?
It's really hard. I mean, when you do these shows that are like cult classics that people love to follow, they have so much there's just a lot of iconic stuff going on that you got to kind of figure out how to, you don't want to do the same production that they did. And so I listened to this album that Off Records had put out in 2003, and they had it was actually to benefit. It was a charity album, cover album for this LGBT high school in New York.
Okay.
And they had Yoko Ono on it. They had Ben Folds. They had Rufus Wainwright singing all the songs from Hedwig.
Really?
They even had Stephen Colbert doing this little bit. Yeah, it was totally wild.
So how did you hear about that CD?
A friend of mine gave it to me and said, you should listen to this album. And I listened to it, and it blew my mind.
Okay,
it
now I
sounded
want
so
it.
cool. Yeah, it's called Wig in a Box.
Okay.
And it's all the cover albums, cover songs, and there's some other songs in there that weren't released on the in the movie or the off-Broadway musicals. So Milford Lake, which is a song that's about where Tommy came from.
Okay.
So there's a couple of other kind of bonus songs in there. So I listened to this and I started talking to Dave, and it initially started as this idea to do like a fundraising cabaret. So we had all these wonderful singers, a lot of people from Little Shop who didn't quite fit the mold for the traditional Hedwig. And we said, well, why don't we do this cabaret and have all our friends singing all these songs in their style. And the more we talked about that, we said, this is actually really cool. We should do this for the show. So we abandoned, and this is just a few months, this is like March. So this is just a few months ago. We've been planning the show for over a year. And just in March, we said, let's get a bunch of people to do Hedwig. And I told Dave, I was like, we need 12. And he's like, how about like 8 or 6? I was like, no, 12. We need 12. So we took, and then there's other characters. You have Tommy Gnosis, you have Luther, young Hansel. We have a 12-year-old who plays Hedwig, when she's when she's a he and a little boy, and Hansel's mother. So we've taken essentially a 2-person musical and turned it into a 17-person epic musical with everyone in wigs.
So is it that there's an actor is going along and then they sing a song and then they go through a door and they come back and they're a different actor? Or how does
I don't know.
Oh, you're not going to tell
me.
me.
I should tell you.
Oh, you're not going to tell me.
It takes different shapes. Sometimes it's one character kind of blends into the next. Other times we've like in the flashback-esque scenes, we'll have someone playing Hedwig in this kind of flashback area where someone else is narrating about it. Okay. So it's the same text that John worked on and Stephen worked on way back when. It's just been broken out. So sometimes there's shared lines, shared songs. I think one of my favorite moments, we were working on this last night, was Origin of Love, which is most people's favorite song in the show. Mine's Wig in a Box, but Origin of Love tends to be everyone's favorite song. And it's about it's taken from Plato's Symposium, where it's where the origin of love came from. It's everyone used to be 3 different sexes. There were these 2 beings that were kind of pushed back to back, and they resembled 2 men together. And then there was the 2 women together, and then there was the male-female couple. So there was these 3 kind of identities, and the gods got angry, and Zeus split them with his lightning bolts, and so now that's why you have belly buttons and you're looking for your other half, right? So whether it's a homosexual, lesbian, right, heterosexual couple. So we have 6 different people singing this song. So we have the 2 male, 2 female, and the male-female. Wow. And it's hot. I mean, we've got so many crazy different voices. Jason Brock, who's got like this gospel thing going on. We've got traditional like operatic sounds going on. And so just some really kind of funky sounds happening, and they're blended, and the harmonies are coming. So Dave gets a chance to play with the music and play with, some of the different stuff that's going on. So it takes shape in a lot of different ways.
It kind of reminds me, there's a movie, The Imaginarium of Dr. something, where every time they went into the dream, the person, it was the same.
Was that the Heath Ledger one?
Well, there was a different
wasn't there
actor.
A Bob Dylan one too?
Everybody was Antonio Banderas. I don't know who. It's like every time they went in, it was like, oh, that's this character.
Yeah,
you just had to roll with it.
I don't know if it's that one. I should probably do my research before I start getting on the radio. But yeah, I think they did that with I don't know if that was Heath Ledger's last movie, but or if that's a different one. But I know a lot of people different, like Johnny Depp or something.
Yeah. And you're just sitting there going, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. I don't know. So whether or not you like that,
I did.
Ours is going to be okay. Great. Then you're going to love ours. If you didn't like it, you're still going to love ours.
You're listening to 89.5 FM KPOO San Francisco. We're speaking with artistic director of the Boxcar Theater, Nick Olivero, about Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And we were talking about who are the lovely and talented actors and actresses who shall be gracing the stage for this.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to make me name everyone, are you?
Yes, yes,
geez.
I am.
Okay, let's
Test
see.
time, and then I'm going to make
Hedwig 1, Breon Davies, who's brilliant actor who's actually down in LA. So he's not even up here yet. He's coming up. We're going to be slamming this thing out, like bringing his stuff in. Dan Clegg, who's this great, very funny guy from the UK. So he has this kind of like British kind of humor going on. Nikki Arias, Steve Fischel, and Michelle Ionero. Let's see who else. Nathan Markin, Megan Lawrence Pryor, and Pryor Lawrence, and who else do we have?
A Lawrence Pryor and a Pryor Lawrence.
Yeah, Pryor. No. I got her. She has that hyphenated
it's like
thing.
Chai tea and
she's
Tai
got the
chi.
hyphenated thing going on.
Okay.
Who else do we have?
I think we're up to 9.
Are we up to? I hope
so.
Let's pretend that we are.
Okay.
Anna Maria Rajala is, I believe, Finnish. And then we have this French actor, Valerie Fortin, who's great, and Jason Brock, who I mentioned before. So a lot of different, we've got black, white, large, small, male, female, straight, gay, thin.
So do they like reach in the hat at the beginning of the night and it's like, oh, this is what I'm singing? Or do they?
No. I actually spent quite a while breaking out the script, figuring it out, and
playing to their strengths.
Kind of playing through. Yeah, exactly. I kind of had people in mind, and what if they're a stronger singer, if they're a stronger performer, if they do the kind of comedic parts, the dramatic parts better. And then we have doing the Reggie White's playing Luther. He has this hysterical Luther take, and Andrew Human, who's playing Tommy Gnosis, and he'll come out and he'll sing "Wicked Little Town." The reprise, because it comes in twice, and Eleanor Bell, and introducing Parker Sela, who's our young 12-year-old young Hansel.
Wow.
And a great band too. So we've got great people working on the show.
And so when does it open, and where is it?
We open next week. Can you believe it? Here we are. So yeah, next Wednesday, June 27th.
So this is not Tech Week. Next week
no,
is Tech
next
Week.
We are, like I said, we're slamming this thing out. We get the full cast together. Really on Monday, the 25th is when, because there's so many people. We've all been working kind of in our own, like putting together like a real rock show. You know,
Right.
the band's rehearsing, everyone's rehearsing, doing their thing, and then we're gonna we have Monday and Tuesday, and then we open on Wednesday, the 27th.
And how long does it run?
It only runs for 2 weeks.
Wednesday through
Saturday.
Okay.
And then our second week we'll have a Sunday performance. So we do perform on July 4th, so you can spend 4th of July in the theater and a rock show. And then we're doing this other really cool thing. We have a DJ coming in 45 minutes before the curtain. So if it's an 8 o'clock show, you'll come, at 7:15, and
so
he's doing David Bowie.
Oh, that's excellent.
He's just gonna be rocking out. So you come 45 minutes early, you drink, you party, you have a good time, and then you watch a rock show. And it's like an hour and a half. So yeah, it's great.
Now where's the theater?
So the Boxcar Playhouse down in Soma, 505 Natoma Street.
Okay, 505
Yeah,
Natoma.
real glorious part of San Francisco where we did Little Shop.
Yeah, I remember when we first walked up, I was like,
right.
some ne'er-do-wells, and it turned out they were in the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, everyone was like,
awesome.
"Oh, is this homeless person singing or not?" It's like, yeah, no, they're
I
singing.
loved it.
And that other times it was just homeless people who'd seen the show so many times they started singing along. We were
I
like, go
love
for
that.
It.
See, life should be a party of song.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So once again, for our listeners, when and where?
Hedwig and the Angry Inch, June 27th through July 8th. Tickets are selling out, so you got to get them now. Of course, go on our website, www.boxcartheater.org.
Sweet.
Did I say that sexy enough?
You did.
Okay, great.
I'm all like,
I can't beat the sex you got, but.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show, and I am going to try and bogart my way into the show.
We'll get you.
Sweet.
We'll get you.
Okay, excellent.
Thanks so much.
You're listening to 89.5 FM KPOO.